Uh, so, Madam is working as assistant professor in civil engineering department at SVNIT Surat, and she has obtained a PhD degree from SVNIT Surat. She has been teaching experience of more than 20 years. Uh, Her area of interest is air pollution monitoring, modeling, and control and water pollution. She has published several papers in various journals of international and national repute. She has also presented papers in various national and international conferences. She has guided many MTech and PhD students. We welcome Madam, and you can start your presentation.
Yes, sir. I'm sharing the screen. Is it visible, sir?
It is opening. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, now visible.
PowerPoint mode is okay?
Yes.
Okay.
But you maximize it because we can only see the. It's not in presentation mode of that.
Okay. Is it okay now?
We are seeing the slide bar and the slide, like you can see, not in presentation mode.
Okay, it is not in presentation mode. Now?
Madam, just press F5.
Yeah, I have done it.
Okay, then it's a issue related.
Okay, no problem. I think it's okay.
Just change your slide, Madam.
Okay, you just, is it visible? I'm changing.
No, ma'am, it is not.
Okay, so I have to, I think presentation mode will not be okay.
Sometimes yes, now you can see introduction has come. Introduction has come like that.
Introduction has come? Okay. So good morning, everybody. Sorry for the interruptions. I will be discussing the grey water treatment using filter media. So as we know, our Mother Earth, we blessed with many natural resources, and out of this, the water is a very important natural resources. But as we know, we people always misuse and overuse the natural resources, and because of that, nowadays we have a scarcity of water in many places, and particularly in the entire world. So we have heard the story of the Seoul and all these places, so where even the political people and they all have started blaming the scarcity of the water to one and all, and ultimately the day will come where we have to consider this issue very seriously, because we all have enjoyed the water resources right now, but it may be possible that if we are not serious, then ultimately in near future our next generations will not be have a blessings of water whatever we are having today. And that is why this particular topic is very important. So the day by day, whatever the water conservations and management we are considering, so in that nowadays we have to consider reuse of water, and ultimately in that particular reuse of water we have to consider the grey water treatment. So mainly, as we are knowing, when we are planning the cities water supply schemes, so generally as per the IAS 1172/1957, still we are considering 135 liter per day water consumptions for the domestic purpose. And generally it is the thumb rule that whatever the water we utilize, 60 to 80% of water that is converted as a wastewater. So it depends upon the many factors, but generally we considered 60 to 80%. Suppose it's a high income group country or high income group area, so in that type of the situation we may consider even more than 80% of the wastewater generated as a particularly from that particular area. So the very important thing is the day by day we are giving more burden to our natural resources. Whenever we are considering the treatment, our treatment are also partially treated, partially treatment we are considering, we are not considering the fully treatment. Even particularly in the developed nations, we are considering primary treatment and the secondary treatment, but we are not considering the tertiary treatment. And that creates a lot of issues on our water resources quality and quantity. And that is why nowadays we have to think for the grey water treatment, and today I am discussing on this. So when we are considering the domestic wastewater, so generally it is divided into two parts. So it's a grey water. So generally when we are considering the particular portion, whatever we just considered as a sewage water, so this sewage is nothing but it is a grey water. So the portion which is coming from laundry, kitchen and bathroom, so excluding your toilet water, so it is considered as a grey water. And when we are considering the toilet water, so it is considered as a black water. When we are considering the grey water, again in a grey water we have a two main parts. So one that is a light grey water and second one that is a dark grey water. So when we are considering the light grey water, so it is the wastewater which will be generated from the bathroom, showers, washing area, our wash basins and all. So generally the light grey water in which the kitchen wastewater is not included. And in the dark grey water, when we are talking about the dark grey water, so in the dark grey water we are considering the kitchen wastewater, and at the same time we are considering the laundry wastewater. So generally we are considering whatever the wastewater we are generating, 47% of that wastewater is considered under the category of the light grey water. So that is generated from the bathroom, showers and wash basins. Whereas in the dark grey water, we have a main wastewater coming from the kitchen as well as from the laundry area. So 50 means you can say it's a nearer 50% we have a light grey water and we have a dark grey water. So the very important thing is whatever the water we are utilizing, so from that we are generating the light grey water and the dark grey water, and ultimately this is going into our drainage network. So when we are considering this wastewater, again it is going to the drainage water network. From the drainage network, again it will be going into the effluent treatment plant, sewerage treatment plant of the city, and from that treated wastewater, again it will be diverted into the water bodies. From the water bodies, water treatment plants are getting the water, so ultimately that cycles continues. So if we people have never think of the light grey water, and we people have never think of the dark grey water, and ultimately this cycles of treatment reuse continues. But now it is the day to think for this light grey water and the dark grey water. Now why we are talking and what is the importance of the grey water? So as we have discussed, when we are considering the grey water or the brackish water, so we have to exclude the portions of the toilet wastewater, because it contains the night salt, pathogens and all. So that is why we are not touching upon that particular issues. And generally we have a single pipe system and the double pipe system in that. So generally in the residential area, we have a separate collection system for the wastewater from the toilet block. So generally we are only here discussing the grey water which will be generated from the kitchen, shower, sink and washing area. Now here the generally why we are considering, because earlier the resources were available, lot of resources were available, and out of that we were selecting whatever is the best suitable. But now the trend is whatever is available, that we have to make it suitable. And the day by day the availability of the water is decreasing because of the climate change issues. Because of the climate change reasons, we have a monsoon highly unpredictable. So our water availability is a question. And at the same time, the day by day our demand is increasing. So the very important thing is when we are considering our demand, so the best situation is our resources, whatever is the available water resources are limited, and because of that we have to think for the other sources. So generally the water is available as a natural resources. If there are rain, water will be available. So just to overcome this demand, we have to think for the grey water. So the second very important thing is there is a wide gap between the municipal wastewater, whatever is the sewage generations, and whatever is the treatment available. So I think you might be knowing right now, if you just see the scenario of 1970, 1980, 1990. So during the 1970, hardly we were having 35 cities in which the treatment plant was available. So slowly that number increases, and right now even class 2 and tier 2 cities we are having a treatment plant. But then also we are mainly concentrating on the treatment. So that is for the primary treatment of the wastewater and the secondary treatment of the wastewater. There are hardly few cities they are thinking for the tertiary treatment. And because of that, when we are considering the generations of the wastewater and the treatment available for the treatment plant in which the wastewater will be treated, so there is a wide gap between the whatever the wastewater generated and whatever the treated wastewater available into the natural resources. So this gap is we can reduce up to some extent, mainly by utilizing the grey water. And this reuse of grey water can be of effective measures for saving the water. So ultimately we can reduce the burden on our natural resources. Right now what is the scenario? So whatever the treatment plant from the city, the water is available, we utilize the same treated water for all purpose. Even in our flushing of the toilet blocks also we are utilizing the same water, and for drinking and cooking also we are utilizing the same water available from the urban authority. So actually this is the time to think the treated water, whatever the fresh water source is available, so that we have to utilize for the limited applications. And that is why nowadays we have to think for the reuse of the grey water. Now the next very important thing is, when we are considering the grey water classifications, so the classification of the grey water will depend upon the source. So we may have a domestic wastewater, we may have a institutional grey water, we may have a commercial laundry grey water, and we may have a commercial kitchens grey water. So depending upon the source, the characteristics of the grey water will be vary. Now here the very important thing is, for all type of the sources we cannot think for the treatment, and if we think, then our treatment will be very depending upon the qualitative load and the quantitative load. So it's a very important, before we start discussing the treatment, at least we have to be very conscious about whatever the type of the source we are considering for the treatment of the grey water. Now when we are considering the grey water, so we have to consider the physical, chemical and the biological characteristics of the grey water. Now when we are considering the chemical, physical, biological characteristics, so forget about the physical, chemical and the biological characteristics, but at least we have to think for the solids. Because solids will be available, we are considering the grey water, and that is a light grey water or the dark grey water, that is from the kitchen and the washing area. So varieties of the metals will be available, varieties of the inorganic compounds will be available. We utilize detergents, soaps and chemicals and deodorants, whatever we use it in on our clothes, and ultimately it will go in our washing cycles. And because of that, we have to consider the phosphorus and all these compounds. So the very important thing is, whenever we consider the grey water, so in the characteristics we have to consider at least solids, BOD, COD, phosphorus, and very important thing is oil and grease. And at the same time, we have to consider some portions of the pathogens. But generally, we are avoiding here the portions of the pathogens, because we just consider that some of the chemicals available, and because of that, the pathogens will not be survived. And generally, when we have done some of the experimental work, so that we have seen that initial concentrations of the coliform bacteria was high, but after that, again, it was because the bacteria cannot survive in the presence of some of the chemicals, and because of that, when we are considering the gray water utilizations, at least we have to think for the solids, we have to think for the BOD, we have to think for the COD, and we have to think for the phosphorus and the organocompounds. So when we are dealing with the gray water characteristics, we have to at least consider these characteristics of the gray water depending upon the source. Now there are so many treatment technology available. So with the help of that treatment technology, and this treatment technology is from the literature, you can have a physiochemical treatment, because generally when we are considering the light gray water or the dark gray water, so color is brackish in nature, and that is why you require some of the at the initial stage you require equalization tank. After equalization tank you require chemical dosing. So this chemical dosing is mainly for the clarifications purpose, coagulant purpose. And after that, if you require to use this gray water for a different purpose, then definitely you have to go with the activated media, means like activated carbon or activated silica, like that. Finally, you require disinfection treatment, and in the disinfections, your only chlorine will not serve the purpose, but you have to go with the UV rays or the ozone oxidations. So like this, you can have some of the treatment technology, and you can have utilizations of the gray water. This is not from the experimental work, but this is from the literature, because we before we start exercise, we have referred so many reference paper. At the same time, there are some of the countries, they are following the very low cost effective treatment for the gray water, and in that they are utilizing the constructed wetland. And after the constructed wetland, they are going for the activated media filtrations and the UV radiations and the disinfections treatment. So this is the low cost treatment. There are so many countries, they are following that. And after that, if you want to utilize the water for a specific purpose, so in that type of the situation, you require advanced treatment, because in your physicochemical treatment and wetland treatment, you are removing everything, but your solids are not removing. Your dissolved solids are not removing, and just to control that dissolved solids, you have ultrafiltrations or the reverse osmosis treatment. So with this background, we have started our exercise for the treatment of the gray water. Now, when we are considering the dark gray water versus light gray water treatment, so the very important thing is, when we are considering there is a clear-cut difference between dark gray water and the light gray water. So light gray water, where you have a solids are the main problem, and BOD and COD, and in the dark gray water you have a oil and grease component somewhat up to some extent. So when we are considering the dark gray water and the light gray water treatment, there are two alternatives. Either you completely exclude the dark gray water, only you provide the treatment technology for the light gray water, because it is easy to treat. Whereas the dark gray water, it is somewhat difficult to treat. Even in the percentage wise, we have seen that we have a 53% minimum dark gray water, whereas the light gray water is around 47%. So when we are considering the qualitative load and the quantitative load, there is a drastical difference. But when we want to treat the dark gray water and the light gray water, so generally you have to go for the separate treatment. Or when you are going with the treatment option, so what you can do, you can vary the compositions of the treatment, means the percentage of the light gray water and the dark gray water, you can vary. So depending upon this situation, we are starting with the treatment of the gray water. So when we are considering the treatment, so we have to check the BOD, COD, oil and grease and solid concentration. So initial stage it may be very high, but you have to reduce it up to the permissible standard. So that is the main thing that we have to consider whenever we are considering the treatment. Now what will happen when you start the treatment with a dark gray water? So the very important thing is it contains oil and grease. So ultimately it will clog your plumbing fixtures. Second very important thing, there will be a solids concentration also very high, and that will also clog your plumbing fixtures. Second very important thing is your organic load will be very high compared to your light gray water. And that is why you require more efficient treatment compared to the light gray water. So light gray water, your simple physiochemical treatment will work, but in the dark gray water, your combinations of the treatment is required. So that is the main thing that we have to consider. Now, when we consider the treatment technology, because ultimately we would like to utilize the reuse of the gray water, and that is nothing but it is a treated wastewater. So here the very important thing is when we are going for the development of the treatment technology, your light gray water and the dark gray water, you require the different treatment technology, and generally the very important thing is this treatment technology nowadays, it is very important in the developing nations, because the developed nations, they don't have a, generally the finance is not a criteria, and that is why generally they can afford any type of the treatment technology. But when we are talking about the developing nations, at least we have to see the treatment which will be feasible in a cost. Now, the second very important thing is when we are talking about the treatment, so only your single treatment will not be the feasible to treat your light gray water or the dark gray water. So you may think that only we will be providing the sedimentations and then we will provide the disinfection. So this will not serve the purpose. So only primary treatment will not serve the purpose. Only secondary treatment will not serve the purpose. So the very important thing is you require to develop the treatment technology like a complete treatment plan, because your single treatment technology will not be the feasible for the treatment of the light gray water and the dark gray water. So here it is very important to we can develop the treatment. So it is a combinations of the physical, chemical and biological treatment, and which will serve the basics for the light gray water and the dark gray water treatment. So when we think about the light gray water and the dark gray water, so the simple like your septic tank will not serve the purpose. So it's a very important, you required physical treatment, you required chemical treatment, you required the biological treatment. So you have to go stage by stage. We have seen there are some of the papers that focus that initially you remove the solids and directly you go with the membrane bioreactor. But this will not serve the purpose, because in the light gray water also you may contain some of the oil and grease concentration sometimes. So in that type of the situation, if you are not removing the oil and grease concentration and directly you are loading your wastewater to the membrane bioreactor, then your ultimately biomass will not serve. So these all the things are very important before we start the treatment for the light gray water and the dark gray water. So you require to think up and you have to manage, you have to plan your activity properly, otherwise you may be fail in your activity. So here our main objective was to study the treatment options for the kitchen wastewater. So we have tried with the dark gray water also. And we have considered the simple treatment technology. So we have considered the settling, flotations, aerations and filtration technology, and we have tried to remove the impurities, and we have tried to treat the wastewater, the dark gray water, up to some extent. And here mainly we have concentrated on the treatment of the dark gray water and their effect on the retention time, and we have considered the organic loading rate. And based on this, we have checked the performance of the filtration technology. So this was the main objective that we have considered in some of the experimental work that we have conducted at SVNIT. So mainly we have performed two experimental phase of the work. So one, that was a batch process. So initially we started with a batch process, because even we were not sure what type, and you know the gray water characteristics will be daily varying depending upon the whatever the activity we are performing. So based on that, it will be varying directly and daily it will be varying. So it's very difficult when we are starting our exercise, and that is why initially we start our exercise completely with the batch process. And in the batch process, we started our exercise, and in which we have checked the effect of retention time and effect of the organic loading rate. So these two things were considered in the batch process, and then we have gone for the continuous process. And in the continuous process, we have checked the performance of the different filter and filter media and the multimedia activity. So this was the complete research methodology. That was the batch process and the continuous process. Here also we have used the performance of the filter media, and we have checked it some of the pre-treatment criteria also, and that we have checked it with the effect of retention time and with the effect of the organic loading rate. And ultimately, finally, we check the performance of the filter media, because we have used different type of the filter media in our exercise. So mainly we have collected daily 200 liters of the gray water, and generally it's not easy task to get the daily wastewater, but that we have collected with the hostel. So dark gray water that we have collected with the hostel, mainly from the kitchen, because we required in that the kitchen wastewater, and that is why that we have collected with the hostel, which was having capacity of 800 boys. And for the light gray water, the very important thing is you required varieties of the chemicals load, and that is why generally we preferred girls hostel, because the girls hostel they utilize more shops and shampoos, and that is why the light gray water that we have collected with the from the girls hostel. So the combinations of the dark gray water and the light gray water that we daily collected from the hostel, and daily we required at least, for according to the capacity, 200 liters of the wastewater that we have collected. Now you can see here, these are the filter media that we have used it. So one, that was a fine sand, universally accepted filter media, and we have seen the size of the 0.75 to 2.8 millimeter size of the grain. At the same time, we have used the coarse sand also. So coarse sand, that was a black sand, not white sand. Generally the coarse sand, generally in this particular Surat area, we are getting this type of the black sand. So that we have utilized, and the grain size was 2.8 to 10 millimeter. And at the same time, we have used this type of the plastic media. So the fine sand and the coarse sand was nothing but it was the naturally available from the river, and this was the artificial plastic media that we have used it in our exercise, and that was made up of virgin polythene. And diameter of this plastic media is 10 millimeter to 25 millimeter. So smaller size and bigger and bigger, like that the size we have chosen. And depth is 2 millimeter to 7 millimeter. So I think when we are considering, there are so many the paper when you are referring, so nowadays the plastic media is a very common material, because ultimately this increases your surface area, and that is why we have used this plastic media in our treatment process. So this is the characteristics of the coarse sand, fine sand, and the plastic media, because when we are working on this, at least scientifically, we should know the characteristics of the media also, and that is why the D30 and D60 and all this size, according to our geological lab, we have performed the exercise, and then we have considered this. So the very important thing is the specific gravity, and specific gravity of the fine sand was 2.76, whereas the coarse sand was 2.79, whereas the specific gravity of the plastic media, it was greater than 0.96. We have not done any exercise for the plastic media. It was available from the manufacturer. So as I have discussed, generally our exercise where our experimental work were in the two process, in the two sites, two phase. One is a batch process and second one is a continuous process. Why? Because generally when we are giving a solution to the community or to the at a urban authority level, so generally batch process for the grey water, it's very difficult because you have to store the wastewater, and generally it will be having an order problem, and that is why you require continuous treatment. So initially we start with the batch process, but after that we slowly and silently switch over to the continuous process. So like this, initially we prepared a small reactor which was having a capacity of 25 liter, and generally 30 centimeter was the particularly the depth, and hopper bottom depth was 15 centimeter. And we have created this type of the reactor, filter media reactor, in the laboratory, and the capacity of the 25 liter. So initially it was a batch process, so the volume of the water was maintained by the feeding tank. Now for this particular batch water, we the first that was the determinations of the optimum retention time, and for this we have started our exercise with a 20 liter of the gray water. So we have prepared a series of the reactors, so at least 4 or 5 reactors at a time, and then we started studying different retention time, like a 2 hour, 4 hours, 6 hours, up to 24 hours. And generally initially we required for the screening exercise, and this screening, because actually it was very difficult, so we were doing this with the plastic net. So with a plastic net the screening was done, and after that the gray water was poured into the reactor, and with a effective retention time, the parameters were like a BOD, COD, oil and grease, turbidity, total solids, and total dissolved solids were measured. So initial characteristics of the gray water has been measured, and at the same time after the treatment, after the filter media, so initially we have taken filter media like a fine sand, coarse sand, and then third one, that is a plastic media. So like that we just consider the retention time like a 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and like that we have performed the exercise. At the same time, we have changed the organic loading also, and for just to make organic loading effective, because if we just when we have to study the organic load, so there was a drastical variations in the quality and the quantity of the light gray water and the dark gray water. So that is why when we are starting our exercise with the individual light gray water and the dark gray water, we were having so many problems, and our reactor was not working efficiently. So what we have done, so we have maintained 20 liter of the volume, but in that we have changed the ratio of the dark gray water to the light gray water. So 5 liter initially we have taken a 5%, 25% of the dark gray water and the 75% of the light gray water, and slowly we are increasing the dark gray water concentration. So we have started with a 25%, 50%, and 75%, and based on that we have calculated the different organic loading route, but we have maintained the total volume capacity, that is a 20 liter of the capacity. So like that we were working on that, and ultimately that was giving us a very effective results, and we can calculate the organic loading based on that, and that was 0.27 COD kg per meter cube, 0.49 kg per meter cube, and 0.82 kg per meter cube. So in this 3 exercise only we were getting a good results. Earlier we have tried with 20% and 60%, 60% and 20%, but that was not giving a good result. So that is why we finally we have considered these 3 organic loading route. Now, if you just see the scenario, so as your retention time was increasing from 1 hour to the 4 hours, or it may be up to 20, finally we have considered up to 24 hours, but the maximum removal was up to in 1 hour to 4 hours. There was no drastical variations if you just continue your retention time up to 24 hours. So maximum removal of the oil and grease, turbidity, and BOD and COD was in the range of 16 to 38%. So you are able to remove, with the help of the filter media only, you are able to remove the 16 to 38% of the your all impurities. Initially there was acclimatization period, so after that we have started our reactors. So after the screening, just with the help of the filter media we were able to remove this particular impurities. And after that, because it's very difficult to manage the gray water for 6 hours and 8 hours and 24 hours, so what we have done, initially we started and we continued our reactors, means we have considered 4 hours retention time. That was the best retention time, and generally that was considered to be optimum, because if I'm just increasing the retention time up to 8 hours or 12 hours up to 16 hours, so there was a marginal difference in the remole efficiency. So generally we have considered the settling of the two. After this, what we have done, we have considered the settling of 2 hours, and after that we have considered the retention time of 2 hours. So that was also giving a very good remole efficiency. So like this, we have considered the media. So we have considered the 3 filter media, like coarse sand, then plastic media, and the fine sand. Now, as we have seen that the removal efficiency was hardly up to 30%. So what we have done initially, we have not done any pre-treatment, only we have done the screening. But now what we have done, so we have provided some of the initial pre-treatment. So we have provided the primer in there were 3 options that we have considered. We have considered one of the initial primary settling tank, then we have provided the aeration tank, and then we have provided the secondary settling tank. And the second option, we have provided the flotation. So flotation was mainly for the removal of the oil and grease portions, and then settling tank. So this was the feeding tank that we have considered. This was the flotation tank. So generally in that we have provided the buffel balls, and with the help of that again the wastewater, the gray water was entering into the filter media. So likewise, this was the feeding tank, and the feeding tank capacity was 80 liter. At the same time, we have considered the primary settling tank also, and this primary settling tank, it was like a hopper bottom tank. It was circular in nature, and it was having capacity of the 25 liter. And at the same time, we have considered the aeration tank. So in the aeration tank, whatever the aerators we utilize into the BOD test, similar type of the aerators that we have provided into this particular tank. And in the flotation tanks, we have provided like this the baffle, so that the removal of the oil, for the removal of the oil and grease. And at the same time, we have a filter media. So as I have discussed, we were having a 3 filter media, one that is a fine sand, coarse sand, and the plastic media. So this was the after, as we are getting the satisfactory result into the batch process, we have started our exercise with the continuous process. So in the continuous process also, the main aim was to get the effect of the performance of the filter media. And for this performance of the filter media, again we have considered now the continuous process in place of the batch process. And this was mainly studied with the dark gray water. So we have discarded the light gray water, and now our exercise was completely on the dark gray water. So here also we have used the similar 3 reactors. So that was of the capacity of the 5 liter, 7 liter, and the 10 liter. And mainly our exercise was on the dark gray water. So here also the options were like that. So we were having a feeding tank. It's nothing but it's simply the storage tank, so from which you can maintain the flow. The second, that is a flotation tank, and flotation, after the flotation tank you have a settling tank, and then you have a filtration tank. So here one that is a fine sand, then second one that is a coarse sand, and third one that is a plastic sand. So that was the option, that was the reactors that we have prepared. Now the this 3 reactor, that is the individually that we have considered, and at the same time, because when we are considering the light gray water or the dark gray water, the very important thing is we have seen that the efficiency of the fine sand and coarse sand and the plastic media was, you can say it's very good, 30 to 38%. But then also we have tried the multimedia filter. So the multimedia filter, where we have used the similar filter media. So that is a coarse sand, fine sand, and the plastic media. So one that is in the horizontal directions, and second one that is in the vertical direction. Why? Because there are the options when we consider the local criteria. So there are the place where the space is available, you can go with the horizontal filter, and when the space is not available, you can go with the vertical media filter. So that is why again the same exercise that we have repeated with the horizontal media filter and with the vertical media filter. So this was the fourth exercise, that is the horizontal flow filtration tank, and the second one, that is the vertical flow filtration tanks. Now when we consider the horizontal flow filtration, so the horizontal filter media was divided into the various compartment, and in which the flow was maintained in 0.5 to 1 liter per hour, and this was the continuous process. So the filter we operated completely up to 120 days, but the very important thing is after 27 days we required to clean up the filter, because the flow rate was decreasing, and because of that ultimately we have to clean the filter, and after 28 days the second run was started. So like that we have to maintain our filter, because when you are working, when we are considering the continuous media, continuous flow, so you have to think for this. So the horizontal filter media was like this. So it was a fine, the initially 35 centimeter was the space for the dark gray water, then it was passed through the fine sand, then coarse sand, and the plastic media. So ultimately this was the inlet chamber, and from this the flow will enter and it will pass through the different ice, and ultimately it will go to the finally for the effluent. Now it may be possible that you may even put up the fine sand at the bottom and coarse sand, but from our experience we have seen that this particular position was giving a better results, because we have done a lot of trials, and ultimately from this particular trials we have seen that in this particular arrangement we were getting the better results. So in this particular filter media we have considered 24 hours, means the retention time was 24 hours, and flow rate was we have maintained very slow, very low flow rate, that was 0.5 to 1 liter per hour, and that is with the dark gray water. So from the 1 day, means on a 27 day the flow rate was decreasing up to 0.2 liter per hour. So we have considered that the filter is clogged totally, and then we clean it manually, and then again after 3-4 days on the 33 day we have started the filter again, and that runs up to 60 days. So minimum 30, after 30 days, you can say after 30 days you require the cleaning. And daily we have monitored the parameters, physiochemical parameters like a total solids, turbidity, BOD, COD, and oil and grease. And at the same time when at the end of the each run, entire filter media was removed and washed by using the clean potable water. Then media was dried and refilled in each filter before commencing the next run. So that is why generally 27 day after that we start our exercise on 33 day, because we required proper cleaning, so that for finally it will not interfere if you are not properly cleaning, that mechanism will also interfere in the second run of your exercise. To avoid that, we have stopped the filter for a particular days. Now this was the exercise that we have considered the similar thing, that was in particularly in the vertical filter that we have prepared in place of the horizontal space vertical filter. So plastic media, again a coarse sand and filter sand. So media depth was ultimately 10 meter that we have considered, and the similar fine sand, coarse sand, and the plastic media, whatever we utilize into the horizontal filter, the same thing that we have utilized into the vertical filter. So you can see here this exercise, the photograph of this, you have this type of the horizontal filter. From even individual also you are able to collect the samples, and this was the vertical filter, and with the help of this vertical filter you have a sample notch, and from that you can collect the sample for your experimental work. At the same time here there was a manometer, so with the help of the manometer you are able to know the head loss, and from that head loss you are able to know that whether your filter clogging is there or not. So this was the second run where we have operated the filter vertically. Again, the flow rate was same because we want to compare the horizontal filter as well as on the vertical filter. So that was a 0.5 to 1 liter per hour. Here also, instead of that first run, it was for the 90 days. This particular vertical filter was able to run up to 100 days. But the clogging period was same. So initially, initial clogging day was extended up to 27th in the horizontal filter. Here also at the 27th day, we have to stop the filter because of the clogging activity. But there is a variations in the parameters, so that we are discussing later on. So again, here also we have checked the BOD, COD, turbidity, and total solids and oil and grease. So this was the treatment options that we have selected, and we have studied individually. So the filtration mechanisms to check the efficiency of the filter media on dark gray water individually. So that was the first part. In the second part, we have seen that suppose if we are providing some of the treatment, pre-treatment, what will be the change in the characteristics, or what will be the change in the efficiency of the treatment you are getting. So as I have discussed earlier, we were having the primary settling tank, aeration tank, and the settling tank. That was one of the option. And we have selected 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and 4 hour retention time. We have not gone up to 24 hours because we have seen that initially that 4 hours retention time is the optimum retention time. So you can see here after 1 hour retention time and after primary treatment also, you are able to remove the efficiency up to 30-40%, and maximum COD removal up to 48%. You are able to get it with a 4 hours of the retention time. So this was the primary settling tank followed with aeration. So after that, you have a treatment, means the characteristics of the wastewater, that is the checking of the effect of the primary treatment on the dark gray water. At the same time, if you are having particularly the primary settling and the secondary settling tank, both the settling tank. So in that also you can see in the secondary settling tank, as in general, we are able to remove more efficiency, more efficiency has been achieved in secondary settling tank. So after the aeration, so here maximum up to 56% of the efficiency you can remove it in terms of BOD and CAD. So that is after primary settling tank, aerations, and the secondary settling tank. So similarly here you are able to remove even oil and grease also, and you are able to remove the TSS also, and finally up to 36 to 40%. In some of the cases even particularly turbidity also you can remove it up to 70%. So mainly you are able to remove at least 50% of the all the loads whatever we considered for the dark gray water. So actually the main finding is the maximum removal has been observed in secondary settling tank, because generally initially PST means in the PST you are able to remove oil and grease, and then only you are able to remove the other impurities into the aeration and secondary settling tank. And that is why in PST, because the dark gray water contains the oil and grease, and because of that you are, and generally also we are getting 30% removal efficiency only into the primary settling tank. Definitely aeration helps in removing the solids, and generally because of the aerations also helps and because it helps sometimes even in oil and grease removal also. Mainly the oil and grease is problematic, and for that initially if you have provided the flotation tanks, then you are able, because generally when we are considering the oil and grease concentration, it will be there but it will not be so high. And even if you have seen the domestic wastewater treatment plant, in the domestic wastewater treatment plant also we are not getting so high oil and grease concentration, and because of that oil and grease concentration, definitely it will make the dark gray water treatment problematic, but not so problematic. So when you are having a flotation tank, so with the help of the provisions of the baffle valve, you are able to remove the oil and grease concentration up to some extent. So here now in the second options we have considered the flotation tanks, that is mainly for the removal of the oil and grease. So here also we have considered the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and 4 hour retention time, and you can see here the removal efficiency of the BOD, COD, turbidity, oil and grease is up to 50%, and majority of the impurities you are able to remove it. Even at the 1 hour retention time also you are able to remove the impurities up to 10%. But when you see the 2 hours and 4 hours, there is no drastical variation. So at least even 2 hours is also effective retention time that you can consider. We have considered here 4 hours, but you can see here 2 hours and 4 hours. There is no wide variations like that. In 2 hours you have a 27%, in 4 hours you have a 33%. So you can't say that even 2 hours retention time maybe practically you can choose for the treatment of the dark gray water. So this is the comparisons of the option 1 and option 2. Option 1 where you have considered the erasions and the primary settling tent, erasions and the secondary settling tent, and in the option 2 you have considered the flotation followed by the settling. So these will also give a very good BOD removal and ultimately COD removal, and these particular options is giving you a better results compared to for the removal of the oil and grease. So other impurities you may have a similar results, means there is no drastical variations in the removal of the BOD and COD, but oil and grease removal will be very fine in the second option, that is in the flotation followed by the settling time. Now this was the same thing that as I have discussed, there is a filter media, and that filter media is in a continuous process. So what we were doing, so in continuous process, and that was with the dark gray water, and that was for the fine sand, coarse sand, and the plastic media, that was the filter media. So here also what we were doing, the dark gray water was allowed to settle for 10 minutes, and then it was feeded manually. So manually we were feeding into the particularly the filter media, and after that we were just considering the BOD, COD, oil and grease, and TSS removal. And initially here, as we were feeding the manually wastewater manually, so what we were doing, whatever the oil and grease concentration was there, so we were trying to remove manually, because our main aim was to just see the effect on the filter media. So here you can see initial characteristics of the grey water, where the BOD was up to 586 milligram per liter. After treatment, we were getting 5 and 6, means ultimately in the range of 500 milligram per liter. And then also we were able to remove the significant removal of the BOD. So ultimately we can say that the pre-treated dark grey water is also very effective, and you can go with the filter treatment, so as per the requirement. So now we were very much interested into the filter media, means particularly the filter media, coarse sand, fine sand, and the plastic media. So which filter media was giving effective results, and for that we have run the filter for 40 days, means minimum 40 days that we have selected. Filter rate was very low that we have kept it, and that was 1 liter per hour. And generally the very important thing is in the filter media, what was happening when we are going for the continuous media operations, continuous process. So generally because of the continuous process, जो ऊपर का top layer होता है तो वो निकल जाता है. So your filter media, the depth of the filter media will be decreasing. So it will be changing, and just for that हमें हमेशा filter media add करना पड़ता था after some days, because the filter because with the impurities it will remove. So generally for a filter media within a 10 days, 18 days, we have to add some of the fine sand, coarse sand. Plastic media में इतना problem नहीं होता था, but it was the problem was very severe in coarse sand and in the particularly in the fine sand. So these was the similar operations that we have done it for each filter, and you can see here the comparisons. So black line is for the fine sand, this line is for the coarse sand and the plastic media. So removal efficiency was very good. It was mainly 68% into the fine sand, whereas in the 54% into the coarse sand and 46% into the plastic media. So BOD removal efficiency was very fine, and BOD removal efficiency for the fine and the coarse sand was observed within 15 days. 72%, 59%, and 45%. So you can see here the plastic media was not effective for the dark gray water treatment, but instead of that, the fine sand and the coarse sand was very effective for the treatment of the dark gray water. So here also the COD removal was in the fine sand, the result was very high, means it was up to 70%, whereas the plastic media and the coarse sand, it was lesser than that. Even we can say that the oil and grease removal efficiency also it was very fine in a fine sand and the coarse sand. Plastic media was not able to remove the oil and grease concentrations maximum. You may have an idea in that, because only the filter media, so where you have a phenomenon like absorptions, otherwise there is no mechanism with the help of this the impurities may be removed. So it's always possible, always feasible to go with the pre-treatment and then to go with the filter media. But in some of the cases, as we have seen, there are varieties of the plastic medias are versatile material that we are utilizing for the varieties of the treatment options. But in this particular situation, it was not giving better results. Even you can see turbidity. So turbidity results were highly varying, because the initial characteristics of the turbidity itself was highly fluctuating, and because of that the turbidity results are highly fluctuating. But then also here also the coarse sand and the fine sand were able to remove maximum turbidity. So even for the percentage means TSS also it was very effective for the fine sand and the coarse sand here after the pre-treatment. So we have considered the pre-treatment, and after the pre-treatment also we have provided the filter media. So this was the comparisons. You can see for the removal of the even BOD and COD, you can have as far as possible the less efficiency we were able to achieve with the plastics media. So this is already, as I have discussed, removal and BOD and COD was observed due to the physical process such as the staining, sedimentation, adsorption may be dominating, which mainly removes the suspended BOD. Because in the dark gray water, you have mainly the suspended BOD. At the time of commissioning, the filter pores of the media were empty, but as the volume of the dark water filter went on the increasing on the filter pores gets gradually reduced by enabling the filter media to trap the fine particles. So mainly is the surface mechanism that we have to consider, and the removal efficiency was increasing because actually on the filter media there will be a biological activity, and because of that the BOD and COD removal was there. So generally fine sand was able to remove particularly the larger impurities, means it was efficient because it will be having a large surface area compared to the coarse sand and the plastic media. So this was the study that we have carried out at the laboratory exercise. Now here the main idea why to select the coarse sand, fine sand and the plastic media, because this was the locally available material, and that is why we have given a treatment options with the help of this. Now the second, that was we have considered the horizontal filter media. So here we have to consider the feeding tank, flotation, settling tank, and then the horizontal filter media. And after that we have just considered the sample, and we have analyzed all the parameters. So here also this was the continuous process. So filter was clogged after 27 days and then again it was started working on 33rd days. So you can see here there are two things, that is a horizontal filter as I have discussed, and second one that is the vertical filter. Now this horizontal, you can see here the row dark gray water characteristics. So it was in the range of 720. So maximum is up to 720. COD is somewhat on the higher side, that was up to 1400. Oil and grease is also very high. So oil and grease here it's a 2.10 to 15.88. So turbidity is also very high, but the very important thing is you can see here the horizontal filter media and the vertical filter media. So these was giving a very effective treatment. So up to 720 that you are able to reduce it up to 320. So even 1400 BOD that you are able to reduce it up to 610. So your horizontal filter media that was able to remove the impurities, efficiency was very fine that we are getting, but oil and grease removal was not effective. Even for the vertical filter also, your when we are considering the vertical filter, so efficiency we are getting somewhat compared to the horizontal filter somewhat on a higher side, but even for oil and grease that was not effective. So the treatment flotation, sedimentations, and there is after this again a filter, so that will not be effective for the removal of the oil and grease impurities. So you can see the BOD concentrations and COD concentration that you can remove it up to uh, um, 500 to 125 milligram per liter in both the cases, means in a horizontal as well as in the vertical flow. So you can say at least 67 to 60 to 67 percentage removal was there for the BOD as well as for the COD loading. But as I have discussed, means COD loading also there was a drastical variations into the results. So sometimes horizontal filter was giving better results and sometimes vertical, because the main thing was there was a drastical variations into the in the influent characteristics. This was the particularly the wastewater that we have collected from the same hostel, but again, because in the when we are considering the kitchen waste in the kitchen, whatever the type of the material they are cooking, based on that the impurities will be vary or the characteristics will be vary. So there was a drastical variations in the characteristics, and that is the main thing that we have to consider, because the light gray water and the dark gray water, when you are considering the treatment, your treatment to it should be versatile to accept the sock loading. You can say it's not a sock loading, but there is a varying load, because ultimately the daily your characteristics will be vary, and depending upon that the reactor it should work. So you can see here oil and grease concentration. So oil and grease concentration was not, means we are not able to remove it up to we are able to remove it up to some extent only. Particularly we are not able to remove it up to 100%, means we were not getting very good efficiency into this. Definitely turbidity removal was very good, and you are able to remove at least 80%, 78% removal into the turbidity. Suspended solid concentration was also we are able to remove it up to some extent, and up to 75% removal efficiency was achieved with the horizontal as well as the vertical flow. And at the same time, when we are considering the TDS concentration, so TDS concentration removal efficiency will be definitely, it will be very low, because your this particular filter media, it cannot be it is not mainly for the purpose of the removal of the TDS, and mainly because of that when we are considering the treatment, we have to consider that thing, because when you are not able to remove the solids properly, so that may interrupt your process of the removal of the BOD and the COD. So the physical process such as the staining, sedimentations, and adsorption was the first dominating phenomena, which mainly removes the suspended organic matter, that is a BOD also suspended, and that was within the 8 to 10 days. And where as the time increasing within on the top surface, you can see the slim layer. So microbiologically that you can see the biofilm that may be developed because of that. So however, after the development of the slim layer, both physical and biological mechanism, it plays a very important role, and we were having a good removal efficiency of the BOD and the COD. We are able to remove the BOD and COD, but reductions of the COD and oil and grease, that was moderately. So if we just see the batch process, so batch process was very effective for the removal efficiency, because as we were increasing the retention time, there was an increasing into the removal efficiency, and with a 24 hours retention time, we were able to remove 75% of the monitoring parameter, but it was not effective because 24, when we are having a batch process and 24-hour retention time, it was not a good scenario. So we were able to get the maximum removal efficiency at a 0.82 kg per meter cube of COD load. So that was for our experimental work, because we have tried with 3 organic loading, but in this particular organic loading rate, we were getting a maximum removal efficiency. Now settling that, we have studied up to 24 hours, but we have seen that the 2 to 4 hours settling was effective, and in that, with settling up 2 hours was found effective for the further treatment of the dark gray water. And option 2, that was better option, the flotation followed by the settling, that is more efficient in the dark gray water treatment compared to the primary settling tank, erosion tank, and the secondary settling tank. So the flotation treatment, if we are following, then it will be giving a very good results for the further our filter media and all. Fine sand and the coarse sand. So generally there was a scarification. So there was a removal of the top layers, and generally after 15 to 18 days, that we have to replace that particular filter media or we have to add some of the filter media. That was the continuous activity, because we have run our experiment continuously for 100 days. So that was the key activity that we have to carry out. So fine sand was giving a efficiency up to 60%, whereas the coarse sand was giving efficiency up to 50%, whereas the plastic media was not giving a better results, and plastic media was giving less efficiency compared to the fine sand and the coarse sand filter media. So in the continuous reactor also, we have seen that we were able to remove the impurities up to some extent. And this particular work, whatever we have considered, so there are so many limitations, and initially we have started the work, so it may be possible that in between there were some days were holidays, so because of that the students were not available in the hostel. So in that type of the situation, sometimes we were not able to get 200 liters of dark gray water. So these all were the limitations, but the very important thing is this particular exercise, now we are trying for a particular use, because here the exercise experimental work, whatever we have done, we have just seen that remove the efficiency, or whether we are able to remove the BOD, COD and solids or not. Now if you want to use this dark gray water for a particular treatment, so like irrigation, floor washing, gardening, so you can work accordingly in these directions, and that may be giving a better results. And you can use with a different filter media, even you can vary the size of the filter media. So we have taken 10 centimeter, 10 centimeter, 10 centimeter. Instead of that, you may check it accordingly, and you can prepare a big size of the filter media, and that can be giving you a effective result. So these may be the future work that we are continuing with that. So before I just consider this all the study, but we have seen that because we have started our exercise also with some of the basic background. So there are some of the low level country, means like Nepal, Bangladesh. So these all the country, they are following this particular treatment. It is not considered as a gray water treatment. So what they are doing, so generally even in India also we have there are some of the cities where EcoSan, this is the particular organization, they are dealing with this type of the work, and they are providing this type of the treatment technology into the rural areas. So we are talking at the urban level areas, but these are the areas where already this type of the treatment technologies are existing. So you can see this is the particular the kitchen back area, so where they are providing this type of the screens, even this type of the small screens they are providing. So this will be like a filter media, and with the help of this, the gray water will pass, and the floating materials, the big size of the material, that will be collected in this type of the plastic screens, and after that you can use this particular wastewater for the purpose. Now you may have this type of the sedimentation pond. So this sedimentation pond where you have a settling, and the very important thing is this type of the grass and all the materials are there. So it's like a constructed wetland. So this will remove some of the solids up to some extent, and second very important thing, this will remove the nutrients. So this will make your treatment process effective at a further place. Then either you may have a septic tank, because generally in the rural areas, for the small communities, generally we may have an idea of the septic tank. And after that, whatever the wastewater will be there, so that wastewater will be collected, and further you may have a horizontal subsurface flow wetlands. So I think you all are familiar with the wetland concept. So wetland is nothing but it is one type of the natural filter media. So here this is the tank. In this particular tank there will be a filter media, so it may be a gravel, then you may have a coarse sand, and you may have a fine sand. So this filter media, and above this particular filter media there will be a earth layer, and you have some specific type of the grass like elephantia grass. There are some of the specific type of the plants. So these plants, what they will do from this particular, and when we are considering the influent in this particular constructed wetland cell, so there will be a some of the impurities, it will be in the form of the BOD, organic matter will be there. So these, even the nutrients will be there. So generally these plants will consume all these things, and because of that the water will be, means the wastewater whatever is inside this constructed wetland, so ultimately it will naturally purified. So there are some of the countries, they are following this. Generally they don't have a the treatment plant whatever the means particularly the like in India or in some of the cities we are having. So there are the countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal. So these countries, they are following this type of the treatment technology. So generally because of that there will be a natural cleaning mechanism. So the roots of this particular plants, they will absorb the organic matter, and because of that ultimately there will be a removal mechanisms, and the plants whatever we are selecting here, so they are having three main important characteristics. Their roots are very hairy, they can absorb the impurities, the stems are very long, and their leaves are very waxy type. So these all the root, stem, and the pans that will absorb the impurities, and ultimately because of that there will be a removal mechanisms, and you will get a very clear water here. So this is the generally we are talking about the wastewater, but these are there are some of the countries, they are following this. So you can have this you can have this type of the arrangement. This is the rural arrangement. You can see this is the means here there will be filtrations, and you can have this type of the sedimentation basins. In the sedimentation basins also there will be a growing of the plant, so they will absorb the nutrients and some of the impurities. This type of the soil filters also you can construct in a means advanced way. Even you can have the plastic media whatever we have considered in our treatment, similar plastic media you can use it into the trickling filter, and you can have a better treatment of the gray water. At the same time you can have a vertical wetland. So this vertical wetland also that may is serve some of the purpose, and because of that you can have a impurities. Now you can see this is the things I want to discuss. This is the particularly the area where you can see here, as I have discussed, this is the particular portions of the constructed wetland. And this particularly in the constructed, after this there are the biofilters are provided. So these biofilters are nothing but it's a vertical biofilters. So particularly in this particular wetland, this type of the biofilters are provided. Here there is a nozzles, and with this particular nozzles the wastewater will be distributed. So this is a very important right now there are so many countries, they are following this, and they are going for the gray water treatment. So we are talking about the best treatment technology, but sometimes even the low cost effective treatment technology that we have to think of, because ultimately we do not have other alternatives. So when we consider the common which are the common problems, so you have to consider the overloading. So your suspended solids, high BOD, so these should be within the limit. If it is within the limit, then there will be no problem. So the very important thing is your characteristics. As I have discussed in our experimental work, there was a characteristics highly varying. So when you are having a highly varying characteristics, your the filters and all this will not work. So that was the main problem we were facing in. So when we are working with the soil filters, at least we have to see that our filter must be designed accordingly and there should be no overloading. Second very important thing is the uneven distribution. So your ground, it should be proper. There should be no uneven distribution. So if there is a uneven distribution, your filter will not work. Then failure in the drainage system. So if you are waterlogging roots and the stems plants, that will disturb, means ultimately the roots of the plants will disturb your biofilters. So it will clog your biofilter and ultimately it will not work. So the wrong choice of the sand and gravel, because the filter media, whatever you are selecting, that is also very important. So whatever the filter media you are selecting, if it is proper, then there will be no problem. But ultimately we have to be very careful when we are considering all these things, and these will only give you a better solutions when we are working with particularly the wetlands and the biofilter concept. So the wetland and the vertical wetland and the horizontal wetland is a very common scenario. If you just consider the treatment technology of the particularly the treatment plants whatever we are having. So in a city, whatever the treatment plant we are having, it is a primary treatment that contains the primary treatment. So generally the bar screen, your grid chamber and the primary settling tank and the skimming tank. And after that, generally we will be having a secondary treatment, and after the secondary treatment we have a secondary settling tank, and after that it will be removed, means generally we will be having a digester, and then the wastewater, the treated wastewater will be entering into the water bodies. Now what is happening, we are talking for the removal, we are having a treatment technology which are removing the solids. We are having the treatment technology which would be removing the BOD and COD. But what about the nutrients? So we do not have any treatment technology or the treatment plant generally that will be carrying the treatment unit which will be which are effective removal for the nutrients. And because of that, what is happening? So when we are considering the treated wastewater, we are diverting into the nearby water bodies. So definitely solids have been removed. BOD has been removed. COD has been removed, but the nutrients has not been removed. And because of that, we have a majority of the rivers and majority of the water bodies, we will be having a waterlogging problem. So the very important thing is the eutrophication. Sorry, not waterlogging, but the eutrophication problem. Why eutrophication problem? Because we all are in the tropical country. So the temperature is always very high. At the same time, generally our water bodies, so generally the velocity of the water bodies, so generally that we are decreasing because we have obstructions and all. So we are removing the natural drainage, natural slope of the water bodies. And because of that, what is happening? So the water body, water becomes the stagnant water. So the stagnant water, the temperature higher, atmospheric ambient temperature higher, and the third, availability of the nutrient. These are the three important factors for the growth of the eutrophication problem into the water bodies. You just see our Indian water bodies. Majority of the Indian water bodies, we have a eutrophication problem. So this eutrophication problem, if we have to nullify it, if we have to remove it, if we have, because tertiary treatment we cannot adopt. It is not feasible because when we are going for the tertiary treatment, definitely our treatment cost will be increasing drastically. So generally the developing nations cannot afford that particular treatment cost. And just to avoid that, we can have this type of the simple filter mechanisms and simple constructed wetlands. So that is effective for the gray water also, and that will be effective for the treated water also. So for the gray water, suppose you have an initial screening, you have a light gray water or you have a dark gray water. So before we implement any treatment technology, simply you can have a constructed wetland. So simply constructed wetland, so where you have open areas, water will hold for a particular time period, and then after that it will go for the further treatment like a flotations and whatever I have discussed. So this will serve a very good purpose and ultimately, but the very important thing is for the constructed wetland, you require the area available. And nowadays that is also a problematic, particularly in the city areas or into the urban areas. So you can have this type of because the clogging of the filter media is the main problem. So even we have seen that some of the treatment plants, so where they are utilizing the geotextile membrane. So this geotextile membrane, it is nothing but it is an impermeable material, and that will just help in your clogging actions of the particularly the filter media. Now there are some of the particularly that we can consider as a mulch bed filter. So this mulch bed filter is nothing but we are providing this special type of this is for a particularly the gray water technology, and this is the technology from the olden from the ancient time the farmers were following. So farmers were at that time, they were not having this type of the knowledge like a light gray water and dark gray water. So generally what they were doing, so generally they were providing this type of the from the wastewater entry, they were providing some stones and filter mechanism. So like a big stones, then small stones and like, so it was just liking as it was working as a filter media. And ultimately this pipe is directly available into the root zone of the particularly the plants. And generally because of that, the daily 3 to 10 liters of the gray water per meter square per day, so that was available to the particularly into the garden area. So because this is the general activity right now, even there are some of the areas where the farmers are following, because generally they do not have the type of the concept like a gray water and the light gray water, but they just consider this is the waste water and there is no other impurities, and definitely we can go ahead with this type of the treatment technology. Earlier this was the treatment technology we were adopting, farmers were adopting, and that was not giving any problem because we were not utilizing varieties of the chemicals and the soaps and all these things whatever we are utilizing. So right now the day by day our lifestyle is changing. We utilize more soaps and detergents and body spray and body wash. So these all contains varieties of the chemicals, and because of that this particular technology is not feasible. Otherwise this mulch bed filter technology is a very common. Generally the farmers, this is the particularly the treatment technology that particularly so many countries they are following and they are utilizing this. So the same treatment technology we can adopt it, but nowadays we can't adopt it. We can't directly use this type of the water because it contains varieties of the chemicals and the compounds. So we can have this type of the aerobic biofilters, and we can have 3 type of the systems. That is a sorption and irrigation system, then you can have a rapid infiltration system, and then you can have a bio filter reactions. So you can use this type of the 3 treatment technology. The first treatment technology, this is the simple treatment technology that whatever I have discussed, the wetland technology. So this wetland technology, this is a simple low cost treatment technology, and with the help of this we can utilize the gray water up to some extent for the gardening and all this purpose. Now rapid infiltration system, where we can use some of the sand filter, like as I have discussed the light gray water and the dark gray water treatment, so that we can discuss, and we can have a varieties of the material and varieties of the filter media that you can check it. You can even use it activated carbon, or you can use the granular carbon for the filter media, and then you can have a biofilter reactor. So like you have a trickling filter. Even we have used and we have seen some of the papers where in the foreign countries the membrane bioreactor were giving a good results, but mainly the membrane bioreactor is the treatment technology which cannot adopt, which cannot absorb the shock loading. So when you have a particularly you can have a control on the qualitative and the quantitative load of the dark gray water and the light gray water. So in that type of the situation you can go ahead. So trickling filter will be the better options because your whenever your load is changing, so in that type of the situation you can have a better options. So mainly which are the advantages of the gray water reuse and why we require this type of the treatment technology, why we have to think of. So as I have discussed in initial case, The day by day, the scarcity of the water that we have to consider, there is a limited water source. So we can use the treated grey water for a particular purpose. So this may reduce 30 to 35% of the consumptions of the water. And ultimately, if we can do it, then definitely there is a saving of the money also. Definitely you can reduce the demand of means particularly on your reservation because ultimately finally 30 to 35% that you can use it for the after the treatment. So the very important thing is it increases the lifespan of your various septic system, even the public sewerage system, because ultimately your load is decreasing. So it's very good for the groundwater recharge also, because ultimately you are taking care of the nutrients and all. There are some of, I think, the LEED and GRIHA criteria that you are knowing. So if you are going for the certifications of that, definitely you can have a very good scoring because you are reusing the water. And reclamations of the wasted nutrients. So as I have discussed, because majority of the water bodies, we have a eutrophications problem, and this eutrophications problem that you can control it up to some extent. So the treated grey water, that definitely you can use it for the watering the gardens, means for the sprinkling of the lawns, and that you can use it. If you are able to remove the solids up to very fine extent, definitely you are able to remove the you are able to use the water in a fire hydrant or for the fire purpose. Definitely you can use it for the field irrigation purpose. You can use it for the toilet flushing and the cooling tower makeup. So these all are the reuse of the treated wastewater, and definitely we have to think for this, because the day will come where the available natural water resources, water sources are very limited, and if we are not thinking for this type of the sources and this type of the reuse of the water, then definitely the next generations, the source of the water will be very limited, and we have to suffer a lot. And that is why we have to think for this type of the treatment technology. I think you might be knowing there are some of the cities, they have made the reuse of the water compulsory. Even they have changed their bylaws. Generally we have a one, generally हमारा जो particularly bathroom और टॉयलेट ब्लॉक रहता है, तो जनरली वी हैव अ सेपरेट कलेक्शन सिस्टम, नीचे जाके एक हो जाता है. So ultimately in the drainage system, we will be having only one system, one line system. So even there are some of the cities, I think you might be knowing, the New Bombay. So they are going to change their regulations, and ultimately this is the city, they will just make a reuse of the grey water compulsorily in particularly in the bylaws. So the day will come where we have to think of this type of the options because of the sustainable development. So this was the some of the photographs that we have done our experimental work during that, and these all are the references that we have considered. I will be sending the PPT to sir so that you can refer it. And thank you very much for patience listening. So if you are having any questions, you are most welcome. You can ask.
Hello. Thank you, madam, for a very interesting lecture and using the grey water or reusing the grey water. So now the participant can ask the questions. You can also write a question in the chat box. Some questions are there, just I'm asking. Like Dr. Suchitra Rajput Chauhan, she has asked, what is the maintenance frequency of the filter tank?
Okay, so actually that was depending upon the particularly the treatment options that we were selecting. But generally maintenance of the filter was, means, as I have discussed, generally we were utilizing the manometer. So whenever there is a head loss, so it's more than particular limit, so generally we were considering that the flow rate is decreasing. So generally the 0.5 to 1 liter per hour, that was the flow rate that we were maintaining. In majority of the case, we were maintain the flow rate 1 liter per hour. But when we were getting the flow rate less than 0.4, then we just consider that now we have to go for the filter cleaning. So actually there was no there was not fine schedule, but depending upon the flow rate and the head loss only, we have to consider the filter mechanism cleaning, maintenance of the filter.
Then Professor Diptisha has, is there any technique to clean the filters?
Yeah, this is also very good questions, but the main important thing is this was the laboratory work. So even we can use the vacuum air and all, but generally we were not having that type of the deposition. So generally manually we were cleaning. It was somewhat difficult, but then manually we were cleaning, and then we were drying the filter media 1 or 2 days in natural sunlight, and then again we were utilizing, because actually that much financial support was not means every time we cannot change the
Yes,
filter
yes.
media. That was the limitations. So we
Yes.
were utilizing the same filter media after cleaning.
Okay. Any other question you can directly ask any participant. If they want to directly ask, they can. Okay, I think if there's no question, Madam, one participant has that you share the PPT, so you can send me the PDF of your.
Yeah, I will be sharing.
Then I will be sharing with the participants.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Madam, for
Okay.
giving a very interesting lecture. We again very much thankful to you. Thank you. So, participants, yes, ma'am. Participants, now I think this is the end of the session 1 of day 2. Now we'll be meeting at second session at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, madam. So participant can leave also, and they can join at 1 p.m.